Hi, my name is Cindi Celske, and I'm applying for your Senior Project Manager of Training position. And I'm going to try to wow you in the next 4 or 5 minutes with tackling all of the things you asked for in your summary position description. First of all, I'd like to share with you some things that I'm passionate about in my personal life. Basically, I'm passionate about growing and developing people. I haven't always been this way. I used to just be a nerd interested in technology and the multiple ways it could improve lives. But then I became a mom, which definitely teaches you how to develop the little ones, right? I had a son, though, who didn't talk until he was 5, and he wasn't toilet trained until he was 7. He has autism, which meant that he needed to learn differently than other people. So I read Howard Gardner's theories on multiple intelligences, and I studied everything I could to understand learning theories and the ways different people could learn. And I worked with teams of experts, trying to be creative in our training and our methodologies with my son. And you know what? It worked. Today, I am so very proud to share the fact that Matt has earned a bachelor's degree, he has a job, he volunteers at church. He even attended the Global Leadership Summit a year ago and is a contributing member of society today. Why? Because everyone can grow and learn. It is the most fun thing, I think, that we as human beings do. And it is the most natural activity for us human beings. So in my quest to learn about how to learn and unlearn things and continue to grow and develop, Matthew was my motivation. He inspired me to go on this journey of discovering how to be a learning and development expert. And from that motivation, I earned a master's degree in instructional design and technologies as I discovered how to use theory and science to make learning experiences better, how to couple that with technology to help people engage in their learning and get it to stick in their minds. So that was a great accomplishment. And then I also went into getting a doctorate in higher education and organizational change. So this is basically applying org development ideas in the industry of higher ed, but a lot is transferable into any industry. So both of those degrees really focus on growing and developing people. And everyone today, because of my parenting experience, because of my educational degrees and my current jobs that I do, people today consider me an expert in growing and developing people. So that's what I'm passionate about. Now, this is the fun part. I get to full out brag about myself. That's not common every day. So the first thing I want to share with you is I'm really great at managing projects. I have specifically had the job of project manager for almost 10 years in a center for excellence, or center that applied information technologies. And we worked with numerous clients ranging in all sorts of industries, such as maybe you've heard of McDonald's or Metra, to various government organizations like the Department of Children and Family Services. I worked with universities, and I worked with a lot of nonprofits as well. And what we did is we created trainings, digital trainings for these clients. The projects ranged from 10 grand to $250,000 per project. So I would have multiple projects running. I'd be managing these projects. I'd work with teams of people. Sometimes we subcontracted skills out, i.e. translation. Sometimes I would of course use the skill sets of graphic designers, other instructional designers. That's my background too. And HTML coders, Java coders, people who were excellent at database design. And we'd work together as a team to, don't forget videographers and photographers as well, work together as a team to come up with the best learning experiences possible. We did everything from half-hour trainings uh, curriculum of those down to micro learnings and everything in between, even blended learning, where you have learning objects that you can use either online or you could use in on-site trainings to complement the overall learning experience and the overall goals that we're trying to attain. So I've used several project management techniques, including agile project management, which is great for some things. And I've even used Microsoft's project tool or app, which is clunky and challenging, but meticulous down to the minute detail. And you know that you need to pick the tools that work best for the job that you're trying to implement. So, number one, I'm a project management expert. Number two, I think I have a really unique blend of a really analytical mind and a creative mind all at once. And this wonderful synergy between my brain sides helps me come up with really clever solutions sometimes. I can take really creative, neat ideas and then implement them with my analytical side. I've seen people unable to do that, just come up with creative ideas, but not able to implement them. I've also seen really analytical people come up with data that they can't seem to extract and apply in the real world because they don't have the imagination to do that. And I think my brain works really good at both of those things. And I don't like to brag about it all the time, but I think I'm really pretty good at that. So the third thing I want to brag about is I've got great research skills. Being a doctoral student, you have to do that, right? And also working in higher ed, they really expect you to be able to research your ideas before you even present them for consideration. And people will quiz you on the depth to which you actually researched and whether you're prepared or not. So I think I've done really well in that area. I also am good at collecting data, practical data, that can tell us the story of how well a project is being implemented as it rolls out. Because I've found in life, hardly everything comes out perfect the first time. If we get it 99 or 98%, that's great. We can tweak it after that and get it up to perfection as we continue to roll it out. So my research and analytical skills in that area have served me very well to manage ongoing projects, but also to gain new insights and use data in meaningful ways as we roll out things. The last thing I want to brag about is I am probably one of the most loyal people you will ever meet. When I decide to do something, I am incredibly tenacious to completion. One time when I left a job, I gave a 2-month notice because I really wanted to wrap up my projects. I didn't want to leave clients hanging. That's just the way I am. And not everybody has that soft skill in today's world. And I think it's a perk. So if you work with me on any kind of project or endeavor, you will find that I will be there to the end, see it through, and be very loyal. So the last thing you asked for was something I've struggled with in my business skill set. And in my previous job, the job before what I'm doing now, which is consulting, I had sort of a death by one-on-one meetings problem. I had 10 people reporting to me. Each one wanted their own special time with me because I'm so fun and cool and nice. No, because, they just felt they deserved it, right? They wanted to be valued. And so I really struggled to fit in one-on-one meetings. They wanted them weekly. And then I had meetings with my vice president. I had meetings on committees. I was getting meeting to death and I didn't have time to get my things done. So I came up with a solution, which was, and you have to promise that you will give me credit if you use this in your consulting practice. I used one Google Doc per employee, and that was our main meeting agenda and meeting notes. So you put your agenda in there, the things you need to talk about. And then during the week, you can plug in information that you have about it. And sometimes the information is something somebody needs to research. So then that's research before you come to the meeting and everybody's more prepared at the meeting. Um, this served me really, really well because it provided us that time to answer questions ahead of the game. In fact, some of the questions were just silly, like, am I allowed to have this day off on vacation? And I could check the schedule and say yes in the Google Doc. And then when we actually came to the meeting, we didn't even have to discuss it because it was there on the Google Doc. Then we'd put the next week's meeting on top, the next week's meeting on top. So we had in one Google Doc everything major that we discussed about projects in one Google Doc for the entire year. The benefit of this was it made it really easy for me to go down through the Google Doc. I could search even if I forgot a name or a date or some important fact. It was all at our fingertips, super quick. This was a huge time saver. It also saved us time. Many of our questions were stated during the week before you forget the idea, and then the meeting comes and goes, and then you have to put it on the next week's agenda. We were able to just get our data and our questions in a place that was easily accessible, and leaving us time then in our time together to strategize about our bigger projects and our goals. Also, lastly, at the end of the year, we had all of our major accomplishments. So when it came time for year-end evaluations, I would go to those Google Docs and have everything at my fingertips, which was really wonderful and made the personnel evaluations really easy. Now, what happened as a result of that was we were able to go to meeting every 2 weeks unless there was something urgent. This is in addition to project meetings, right? So we were able to condense these meetings down to 30 minutes, sometimes completing them in 20, which gave me my life back, and I was able to be a fantastic manager and do this more effectively and efficiently, and everyone was way more satisfied with the outcome in the end. So that was a skill that I struggled with, all these meetings and then taking notes and who's going to be the agenda, who's going to do the note taking. We just collaborated and got it done way more effectively, saving tons of time and in the end being more efficient. I think that's what you want to do. I think that's what White Space at Work strives to do. So in conclusion, I hope that in addition to picking me because I'm really fun and cool and smart and creative, I hope that maybe we can have an actual conversation, two-way conversation soon, so that we could determine whether we might have a great synergy together and whether or not I might be able to help you reach people all over the world to reduce senseless busy work and to approach their work in thoughtful, effective, and creative ways. I hope to hear from you soon.